everyone, Adelaide here from Hands Up Melly. Today we're going to make some pasta and bolognese, and you can see here we've got some extra ingredients, some lentils today. So I just wanted to have a quick chat with you about our legumes group. So you can see here we've got some lentils, chickpeas, a few other varieties here, red kidney beans. So the purpose of these today is to bulk out our meat to make sure we're not spending all our money on meat, but we're still including lots of protein and fibre with our lentils. So I'll pop these other ones to the side. And then today we're going to just be using the tinned lentils here. Now, if you're going to have pasta with your sauce, I'd suggest putting it on first. So I'm going to pop this one to the side, but you can cook it for about 15 minutes, and we want to do 1.5 cups of the raw pasta, and that'll bulk out to be enough for 6 people. Okay, so the rest of our ingredients, we've got our tinned lentils and our tinned tomatoes here. So these are nice and cheap. We've also got some lean beef mince as well. Then you can see in the front, zucchini, carrot, garlic, onion, and then we've got some herbs. So whatever you have is fine. Mixed herbs, we've got oregano and basil here today. So our first step will be our onion. So be careful with this one, sometimes it can make you cry. So I'm just going to chop this up. I'll dice it up and put it in this bowl. So peeling the onion is something you can get the kids to do, but they might shy away from it if it does give them a few tears. It's time to chop our vegetables. So we've got our carrot and our zucchini, one of each, unless you're making food for a few more people. You can add some extras in to get some extra veg in. So I want to chop this up into little pieces. So dice it up like we did with the onion. So it's up to you. If your kids are a bit fussy, you might like to grate the carrot as well. We've also got the zucchini there, which we'll grate. All right, so there we've got our carrot. Next, grab out your grater. Sometimes the kids like to do this as well. You just might have to teach them a few times how to keep their little fingers out of the grater. Okay, there we go. You can see we've got lots of colourful vegetables going into this dish. The next thing we're going to do is have a look at our tinned lentils. So I've chosen to purchase the ones that have no added salt, just because we're already adding some flavours ourselves, so we don't need extra salt there. So if you haven't used lentils before, when I've opened them, there's lots of liquid in there, so we just need to drain that off. It's also good to give these a little bit of a rinse just because they've been in the tin with all that liquid, so I'll just do that as well. All right, there we go. So now we've got all our ingredients ready, we might start cooking. So what we need to do is grab a frying pan, or if we've got an electric frying pan, and then we'll get cooking. Hey everyone, now we're going to be doing our cooking component. So you see here I've got my pasta bubbling away at the back there, and then I've got a nice big pot here to start making our bolognese in. So I've just turned the pan on there. We don't want to put it on too hot, so on a medium heat would be best. The first thing we're going to add in is some oil. So again, we've got a spray oil, or we've also got just a bottle of oil here. Canola or olive is perfect, so just give it a little spray in there. Just a tablespoon will be plenty for this recipe. And we're going to add in our onion and garlic to cook it off. So like we said before, our onion and garlic will give us lots of flavour in this dish. So we just want to mix around our onion and get it cooking before we add our next ingredient in. So the way to tell if your onion's cooked, if it starts going a bit clear in colour and you can see through it, that's a good sign. So I'll just let that cook away for a bit longer, and then we'll add in our mince. This is cooking away really well. So I've got my mince here. So about 500 grams of mince is great for this recipe. So you just want to break the mince apart and then try and break it up in there as well with your wooden spoon. Now your hands do get a little bit messy, but of course we washed our hands before we started this recipe, so I'll just give them a quick wash as well before I come back. Okay, so with your wooden spoon, you want to just start breaking up that mince. It's great to have a nice big pot, so you've got plenty of room to, I guess, add all your ingredients in as well. So we'll let that keep cooking for about 5 minutes. Make sure you keep an eye on it and keep breaking the bits apart. I guess the reason we're doing this recipe today is to teach you that you can, I guess, use a smaller amount of meat, and then by adding the lentils, we're going to actually make this meal go for longer. So you can see our meat is slowly getting browned off there. The next thing we're going to add will be our vegetables. Okay, so our mince is now browned off and we've got all these lovely colours to add into our dish. So just give that a stir as well. Great to try and include as many colours as you can in your meal. So you can see here we've got some nice green and orange from our carrot and zucchini. And then of course we're going to add some red colour. So we've got our tin tomatoes as well. So we're going to pop 2 of those tins in. Now we just want to stir all our ingredients together. And then before we forget, we'll add in some herbs as well. So depending on what you've got at home, it might be some mixed herbs. Today we've got some basil leaves and some oregano leaves. So you can just sprinkle about half a teaspoon in as well. And then we've got our final ingredient, which is our lentils. So like we mentioned before, we just gave them a little bit of a rinse and we can just pop them straight in as well. So the lentils have already been cooked a little bit, so they don't need as much cooking time as the meat will. So we just want to cook this for about 5 to 10 more minutes until it forms into a nice sauce.
Yeah.
Sorry, okay.
But even if she hadn't, like, you know, your partner's injured, you'd pick up a bit more slack.
Yeah. Because yeah, what did she say? Right? She got HelloFresh to try and do like the step-by-step recipes so like other people could do it, which I think is a clever idea. So now our food's finally cooked. We're going to pop it into this nice big bowl here. So I've got my pasta. I'm just going to drain the water off that. So we've got our pasta there. Then we've got our sauce as well. So I just wanted to give you a few tips on if you're wanting to cook without the meat. You can actually use these dry lentils here. That way it can be a vegetarian meal if anyone's following a diet like that at home. The other thing you can do is gradually build up the amount of lentils that you're putting in the dish. So if you have some people at home that might be a little bit fussy, you can try doing, you know, like we did today, just a small amount of lentils and then slowly build that up over time as well, which can be really cost effective. We've also got some red kidney beans. So this is another bean that some people like to mix in with their minced meat or make, you know, burritos or things like that as well. So that's another one you can do there. Okay, so you can use any pasta that you like. We've got some penne there today, but of course we do like to have spaghetti, which can be quite messy sometimes as well. Just put that in there. And now for our sauce. There we go. So you can see our sauce, you've got those little bits of carrot in there. If you do have some fussy kids at home, you can grate that in as well and they won't even know it's in there. You can also add things like mushrooms in as well, or any other veg that you feel like you've got available. And of course, the best thing to put on your pasta is cheese. It always goes down a treat. Let us know how you like to make pasta at home in the comments below.